Welcome to a returning episode for the first episode of 2018 of Film Dungeon Commentary, a sideshow of the Radio of Horror Network. I am your host, Dr. Chris, and I am joined by the lovely and talented horror actress, Andy Noir. Thank you for joining me once again, Andy.
Thank you for having me again.
Andy joined me for, I believe it was the first Blade movie, correct?
It was.
And we were going to do Blade Trinity, but Andy needs to hunt down a copy of that, and we'll do Blade Trinity, which won't be as much of a commentary as us slandering the movie completely, because Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly.
But hey, without Blade Trinity, we would never have Deadpool.
You know, I never thought about that. That's very, very true.
Yeah, yeah. So, we're going to be doing Queen of the Damned, which is the second film based on the third book of the Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles. We're going to be going over a lot of the details of the film, what the hell was happening with the film, and why the hell the film is so different from the book. You need a regular DVD or Blu-ray copy of the film. You can find it, I believe, on streaming sites as well, but make sure you at least purchase a copy or rent a copy. Do not use a bootleg. If you're watching this on YouTube, there is no video. There is no movie. This is a commentary by goofy fans who work in the industry in some way. I'm a horror host. Andy is an actress. You can also find this episode hopefully on iTunes soon, as I am going to be uploading all the episodes to a new site for Film Dungeon Commentary very soon. So make sure the counter on your DVD or Blu-ray or streaming says 000 all the way across. The Warner Bros. Logo should be almost shimmering into view, and hit the play button now. So the Warner Brothers Gothic logo should be shimmering into view. And the executives at Warner Brothers probably were in a desperate attempt to save the copyright for the Anne Rice books, which they had held since 1992 when they began production on An Interview with the Vampire. An Interview with the Vampire was a huge hit for Warner Brothers. Years later, I mean, we're not even in, by the way, the Twilight era of vampires yet, and they tried to do it again with Queen of the Damned, but it was an epic failure at the box office.
True. But it was a guilty pleasure.
It's a guilty pleasure, but it almost has nothing to do with the book, other than like the bumpers of the story, The Vampire Lestat and the Queen of the Damned.
They really took the very end of the Vampire Lestat, I feel like, and expanded it. It's just a little bit of section about him becoming a rock star, and they made it the whole movie.
I mean, the Queen of the Damned is a lot about the book I'm talking about. The Queen of the Damned novel has to do with the origin of the vampires in Anne Rice's universe.
Exactly, and they didn't really even touch on it. It's like they thought, oh, that's boring. Nobody wants to see that.
No. I swear to God, I think we would have enjoyed it. Didn't The Mummy come out a couple years prior to this, and then we just had The Mummy Returns and The Scorpion King? So an Egyptian movie about vampires, I think, would have sold pretty well with audiences.
I think so, too. I think that they underestimated vampire fans.
Definitely. And
what do you think about him doing, like, the first person narrating?
Who's Stuart Townsend?
Yeah. Or just Lestat in general.
I just don't think he was the right casting role for Lestat. I mean, Lestat is a very dark, humorous, constantly laughing and giggling character, like the Joker in Batman.
Yeah, very narcissistic.
Exactly, and that's why I always thought Tom Cruise played him more correctly. Now, whether or not Tom Cruise was the right look for him is debatable.
Right.
I mean, they never got into Lestat in the modern day in that movie, so it was always Lestat as an aristocrat. So Tom Cruise's look fit that old version of Lestat. If they had recast him in other movies, that would have been fine with me. But I thought he was an okay version in that old aristocrat setting. Also, he did have that ridiculous kind of sense of humor and always was laughing.
True. He wasn't emo.
No. You definitely also want to turn your TV down just a little bit, Andy.
Okay.
It's definitely being picked up.
Okay.
Sorry. When we open up with the vampire Lestat is like crawling up out of the ground. Now, I believe that's from like suffering the injuries he sustained from Interview with the Vampire, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then he happens upon the gang of, He happens upon the band and forms the band. And then the rest of the novel, it has nothing to do with him becoming this dark gothic rock star. It's mostly about his life.
It's true. Like I said, like at the very end of it, it kind of touches on him becoming like a rock star, but it's such a blip in it to pick that up and make a whole movie about it.
Mm.
And my big question is, who came up with the idea that if he wanted to become a rock star and this sound awakened him, why was it new metal?
Because the executives at Warner Brothers were like, what are the new kids into today? What target audience can we direct this movie towards? What about those goth kids? Yeah, let's make the movie gothic and metal-like, because those people are into vampires, right? That's going to be our marketing target audience. That is why this movie failed. Yes, we like the music from this movie, but let's face it, that music does not fit Anne Rice's novel.
No, not at all. Because she even said she pictured him to be like Jim Morrison.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And
that's what she based it off of.
It just
could be a singer.
It just doesn't fit the narration at all. If you've read the novel, it's a completely different movie. It kind of stands on its own. I mean, the biggest tragedy that came out of this film was prior to completion of filming, Aaliyah died in a plane crash.
Yeah, and I think it's sad to say, but I think they capitalized on it. That people would come out to see it then because it was her last movie.
Wasn't it her last movie?
Mm-hmm. Because she died during the making of this.
Yeah, when did Romeo Must Die come out?
I'm not for sure. Unless they had to have filmed it then before this. Because this literally was the last movie because her brother actually had to come in and do some of the extra shots for her.
Yeah, isn't he a twin?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they have the same body type.
Exactly. He's real little and skinny like her.
Mm.
So that's kind of an interesting fact, I thought.
Now, as of a news report, actually just last week, Brian Fuller, who was the showrunner on American Gods, has become part of the crew to work on Anne Rice's The Vampire Chronicles for TV.
That's cool. I like that because I love American Gods. So.
And you heard about what Kim Kardashian did last Halloween, right?
No, I didn't.
She dressed as Aaliyah.
What?
Yeah.
Did anybody know who she was then? Like, how do you dress as Aaliyah? I just picture her as Akasha.
Yeah, a year ago. Not a year ago. Last Halloween, Kim Kardashian dressed as Aaliyah.
That's crazy. And that right there is why I do not follow the Kardashians. That's kind of tacky.
A little bit.
When I watch this, it really reminds me of the band Him.
The band what? Wait, say that again?
What?
Repeat what you just said? Sorry.
I said this reminds me of the band Him from Finland. Like, every time I watch the little music videos they shot for Lestat in this, I feel like it's almost like their style. Like, it just so reminds me of them. Which is capitalizing on the whole vampire-esque crowd.
What's their music like?
Very gothic. Gothic, like, they call it love metal. But he looks like Lestat. He would make a good Lestat. See, I just don't think, like, this is realistic in a sense of how many people would be so in love with a new metal band.
No, I don't think so.
And I just think that if I was Lestat, I would have prettier people in my band.
The band almost has no role in this movie whatsoever.
I know. There's so many characters in this movie that literally you just don't care about because they never develop them. They're just thrown in there.
Also, has there ever been a rock star who didn't make like a appearance like this but only did it on TV?
Right. I guess he's trying to capital, like, Lestat thought it'd make it more vampire. But to me, it would definitely make people think it's still fake.
I can't believe this movie was rated R.
I don't understand that either because there's nothing gory in it or sexual or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, he bites some people, but
Yeah, I don't understand that at all either. I really didn't realize it was rated R. I figured PG-13.
I love it when he hits on the reporter through the TV.
I know.
I mean, you got to give it up to Jonathan Davis, who wrote and produced the soundtrack for the movie.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have the soundtrack. There's a couple of songs on it I really do love, like the one that Jay Gordon from Orgy did.
Yeah, and I mean, how many times on the radio did we hear "Down with the Sickness" being played?
Oh, I think that song's in every movie though, like every horror movie you see.
I do love the fact that the vampire Marius is played by an actor named Vincent Perez. Does that
He's
sound
one of my
familiar to
favorite
anybody?
characters in this. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like Vincent Price.
He actually marries, like, that's my favorite character, I think.
Marius?
Because, yeah, in the movie at least.
Oh my god, how old is that technology that he was just doing his little old school Skype chat on? Think about it. If this was done today, he'd be on the same device that we're talking on, as I'm in Massachusetts and Andy is in Minnesota?
No, Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee. I was about to say, aren't you living in the home of where the Patriots, by the way, the New England Patriots, just beat
I'm proud.
the
I'm
Jacksonville
proud of them.
Jaguars and are on the way to the Super Bowl again.
I'm very proud of them. We're a young team, so it was nice to go up against somebody like you guys.
Yeah, you still got your ass kicked. But it was close. Jesus Christ, we were getting our ass handed to us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is, like, again, why I love goth chicks. But these are
Like
such,
when I
like...
see these two chicks in the movie now,
But they're
I
not
keep
really...
thinking that they're like Twilight fans.
Yeah, these are so far removed from being, like, what would you typically known as goth chicks. They're just a little too bright and shiny. Look at them.
Chili pictures them going, oh my god, you're not sparkling.
They're just a little bit too shiny for me.
Yeah, definitely. It's like of all the girls you would pick. Like, let's throw some fishnet on her. That makes her goth.
Yeah, with her bra on underneath. Or
Right.
bathing suit? No, maybe bathing suit top.
So, 2002, where it came out. And just giggling. No goth girl giggle like that. Yeah,
No, these are like cheerleaders.
exactly. Twilight.
Shame on you, casting director.
That's why I'm kind of like happy to get what they get in a second.
Now what's the song
okay,
being...
these two idiots deserve to die.
Now the name of the song being played during the scene is Cold, right?
Yes. What do you think about the special effects in this movie?
I mean, his walk on the wall scene, we know how that's done. Okay, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I know how it's done. Yeah.
It's the flip upside down room, like in The Fly.
Right. Or in Nightmare on M Street Part 1
Yeah.
that they used. See, this is what I said. It's like whoever was the reject from the Matrix special effects did this movie. Because I hate that invisible, whatever that is behind them every time they fly or something, like just now when he jumps off the ceiling. See, Lestat shouldn't be that emo.
No, he's not at all. That's half the reason why the vampire community doesn't like him, is because they're all emo, and he's all, woohoo, vampires, awesome!
Yeah.
I can get around with a lot of drinking and fucking. However, I just said that the vampires in Anne Rice's novels don't fuck. They can't.
Right. And do you notice they had to give Lestat a love interest with Jesse?
That was a
When
bit
we all
much.
know that Louis is his ultimate love, but it's almost like in 2002 they didn't want to really show a gay couple.
Do you think the reason why we have all the pictures of the dolls in Jesse's room is to make it seem like we're homaging Claudia?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Also, the little girl Jessie in this reminds me a little bit of Amy. Um, not Amy. Shoot, what is her name? Karen Gillian's character on Doctor Who. Did you ever watch Doctor Who?
I've watched some of it.
I think it was Amy. She was in. I just took my son to go see Jumanji, the new Jumanji,
Uh huh.
and he absolutely loved it. I loved it too. But she has a character in the first. She has a character on like 3 seasons of Doctor who really reminds me of Amy Pond. That was her character's name. Who
Okay.
reminds me of the little girl that we see right here. When she first meets the Doctor, she's this little redhead girl. Different actress, obviously, but it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, that
her
reminds you
her
of, yeah.
her when she meets the Doctor when she's like 10 years old. She has a very curious attitude about it. She's not afraid of this man who just crash landed into her backyard with his, time
It's like
machine.
you're not afraid of a lady that bleeds, like, cries blood. That's my other issue right here.
Oh, that the fact that her aunt was a vampire.
No, that she has MTV on, because I think by 2002 when this came out, MTV stopped playing videos. It was all reality television.
Oh yeah,
I was like, well, that's not correct.
maybe it's MTV too.
True. But I thought, yeah, the generation they're going for, watching this is probably like, what is that? What are music videos?
Yeah, but
Check out that TV with the VHS TV.
Oh yeah, with the VCR attached to it.
Yeah, I had one of those. That's crazy. And for all of our young listeners, yes, it's a VHS tape goes in that. If you know what that is.
Okay, you're not going to believe this, but directly sitting in front of me right now, as we're recording this, I have a Blu-ray copy of Queen of the Damned, a DVD copy of Queen of the Damned, and a VHS copy of Queen of the Damned.
No, you do not.
I do.
That's insane.
I will-
I
I-
only have the soundtrack and the DVD.
I will text you a picture later on of all 3 copies.
Okay.
One is okay, but to be honest though, I only own the Blu-ray. The DVD is my roommate's, and since I'm watching this on a laptop, I have to watch it on DVD. But I brought the Blu-ray just to double check to see if the bonus material is different on either disc. And then the
Right.
VHS copy was given to me recently when I helped a friend move his horror museum.
Oh yeah, you just did that.
Yeah, it's Count Orlok's Nightmare Gallery in Salem, Massachusetts.
Very nice.
Okay, so according to this, both versions are identical in terms of bonus material. I don't think this is a movie that Warner Brothers is ready to go back to the well and redistribute on a special edition DVD.
I
However,
don't think so either.
with the TV series in development, I guarantee we will see a special edition DVD Blu-ray of Queen of the Damned and Interview with the Vampire.
I could see that then when it comes out. You gotta jump on that bandwagon.
Now, I'm going to admit, despite his love interest being an absolutely stupid plotline in this movie, I
Yeah.
do love Jessie getting all gothed up later on, and then later on when she becomes a vampire. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the movie yet, but you're listening to 2 people's commentary on it, shame on you. We're going to spoil the hell out of this movie because you should have watched this movie before listening to us, like, go on and on
Tear
and
it
on about
apart.
it. Yeah. But, as I was saying, I find Jessie to be very attractive.
She is. But I just don't like her because she's too whiny and she's too emo as well and just, oh, woe is me. It's like, who's our protagonist? Her or Lestat?
Oh, she is 40 this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was born in 1978.
Oh, wow.
She was on Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah, I
10
liked her
years
in
later,
that. I
and Wet Hot
did.
American Summer First Day of Camp. I didn't watch those, but I never saw the movie that they're actually continuing with the actors older playing their younger parts.
Yeah, I liked it. Like, it was funny. It was really funny. And every time I see her, I do think about this movie, actually.
Oh my god, you know she was in Firestarter 2?
Yeah, she was, yeah.
She was Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy. This guy. He totally wants to get into her pants.
Definitely.
He has a thing for her.
I don't know. I think he wants to get in Marius's pants.
Well, Marius like presents himself to him later on. Now this is Paul McGann, right?
Yes.
I love Paul McGann. You know what Paul McGann is, of course.
Huh.
He was once Doctor Who.
I was about to say Doctor Who. Yeah,
He
I was
was
about to say that, but I wanted to make sure because I didn't want Doctor Who fans to kill me. But yeah, I was about to say that actually.
He played the Doctor one time in the made-for-TV movie on Fox before Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant played the Doctor. It was a standalone movie that was supposed to launch a new season of Doctor Who. Unfortunately, the show had the made-for-TV movie had terrible ratings, and Doctor Who was not renewed. So we had to wait until 10 more years for Doctor Who to return on BBC. And then he would come back and play the Doctor in 2 little short films, which would explain how his character becomes the War Doctor played by John Hurt.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, watching this movie, there's a lot of British actors in this movie, so we would probably going to be making more Doctor Who references. Because anyone that's a British actor has been on Doctor Who.
True. It's very true. Yeah, very few Americans have.
Yeah, very, very, very few Americans.
Yeah.
He was also in The Three Musketeers and Alien 3.
Yes, he was. Yes. I love this.
And he was on...
I love Mario. I don't know. His character, to me, was the most fun.
Did you ever watch...
you said, like how he is with David at the end of it, or he plays with him, basically, you know?
Did you ever watch Luther, starring Idris Elba?
Yes.
Yes, he's on the 2nd season of Luther.
Love it, Perez.
All right, Stuart Townsend, you know that he was once upon a time going to be cast as Aragorn in The Lord of the Rings?
It seems like I've heard that before, and I was like, there's no way. No way. He's too feminine, or I don't know. It's just, I couldn't see it.
I also, by the way, forgot the actress who plays Jessie, Margaret Marot, was in The Mighty Ducks and The Mighty Ducks 2.
Well, that I didn't know.
Yeah, she was the female Mighty Duck when she was a teenager.
Oh, wow. She really hasn't changed, has she? She looks the same.
I completely forgot that I have to mention this to my guest that I record with tonight. He worked on Salem, and Stuart Townsend was in Salem for 7 episodes.
That's right. That's definitely right. We're starting with season 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do like Salem.
It got canceled after 3 seasons, though. Okay.
I think all shows do nowadays. It just seems like shows don't even last. I think people, with all we got coming at us, like shows on Netflix, shows on Amazon Prime, you name it, everybody gets fickle, gets bored of things too easy.
Lestette's transformation into a vampire, the way the guy leapt at him, was ridiculous.
Yeah. There's just so much goes on in this movie. Like one storyline, then another storyline, here's this character, and half the characters don't even have names. It's just a big mess all around. But again, guilty pleasure.
It's like you're watching a Michael Bay Transformer movie where Transformers just show up and you have no idea who the hell they are.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, other than like a roll call they did in like the first movie where Optimus Prime is like, this is Bumblebee, this is Jazz, this is Ironheart, this is Ratchet. You're like, okay, thank you. That was really good. You introduced who your Autobot compatriots are. The rest of the movies, that never freaking happens. He never goes, Wheeljack, Grimlock, you, Slag, Snarl, Swoop, Jetfire, so on and so forth. Megatron doesn't go, Starscream, whatever. I could go on and on and on. The point is, when you have so many characters in a movie that are not very distinguishable from other characters, you need to do a roll call. These vampires all wear kind of the same clothing, and they're all kind of pasty and white. This isn't like the Avengers, where we can figure out that Black Widow and Captain America and Hawkeye are completely different characters.
Yeah, their outfits give it away, yeah. Because, like it's the...
Also, we had a movie to set up Captain America. We had a movie to set up Iron Man. We had a movie to set up Thor. Gee, what other film franchise isn't doing this correctly and fucking it up? Oh, the Justice League movie didn't introduce anybody other than Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And a lot of people were like, who the hell is the Cyborg guy? His name is Cyborg. Oh. Wait, isn't the Flash on TV? Why is he in
comics, this? I can see how people could be that way. But all of us comic nerds already know.
Correct.
They just think that only us are going to go see it.
The problem is that they can't just make all their money at the box office on comic book nerds. They need to have the average person going to see the movie who only saw Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman or the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, it's not like Star Wars fans where you can make all your money off of Star Wars fans.
No, I mean, you can put anything on Star Wars on anything and it will make money. Star Wars fans watch those movies. Okay, so here's the thing. Interview with the Vampire, when I was 14 years old, was, as far as I can recollect, the first introduction to homoerotic gay subtext.
Definitely.
I never seen in my entire life two men about to almost kiss each other, let alone a man biting the neck of another man in a very passionate embrace. To the point it looks like he's just sucking on his neck like you would kiss your lover. At 14 years old, that scared the shit out of me, that I didn't know what the fuck I was watching, let alone I was not repulsed, but I was kind of like when you're watching a naughty scene in a movie with your parents in the room and you're kind of turning away and feeling embarrassed watching it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyone listening, I'm completely open about you're gay, you're transgender, you're a lesbian. In fact, I do a lesbian BDSM romantic comedy audiobook. And I do. And Andy looks very much like one of the characters in the book. So I'm very open-minded, and I interact with gay and lesbian people all the time. I am just saying my first introduction to gay culture in 1994, when I was 14 years old, having never been exposed to it ever, it can be a little unnerving.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, having his love interest is in Jesse. I'm like, okay, you just got rid of Louis. Like, that's his love. Mm-hmm. That's the love, Mm-hmm. And to me, vampires are, asexual, I guess. It doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman. Vampires just love everybody, are sexually attracted to everybody. I would have liked to have kept it with Louis.
I love the color tones in this movie. I think they copied... Excuse me. I think the filmmakers who were making Underworld at the time, because Underworld would come out a year after this movie, were probably watching this going, vampires, blue. That should be our color. That should be our filter.
Yeah, the blue. Because it does put you in that mood.
Exactly. On Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was the biggest vampire show at this point that was out before this, in terms of pop culture, we had Blade and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Vampires had been pretty much quiet for a number of years. I mean, we had a vampire movie every once in a while. Yeah, Bram Stoker's Dracula. But then we also had...
Lost Place.
We had no, that was in the 80s. The 80s were big on vampires. What I'm saying is, though, the 90s, we didn't have a lot of vampire stuff. We had Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We had Bram Stoker's Dracula. And then we also had, unfortunately, Vampire in Brooklyn.
Oh... That's right. And that one I kind of try to forget.
When you have a movie like Vampire in Brooklyn, it kind of takes the bite out of wanting to do a vampire movie ever again. But we also had Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, before we had the TV series.
And did you notice, if you are a fan of the movie, how different the TV series became? especially with after Interview with a Vampire, it's like they felt like they had to amp it up. We had to have the really handsome vampire who has the brooding story to Spike, who's like Lestat, the evil but funny,
Yeah.
They changed it all up after the Interview of a Vampire, I believe. There's very similarities. Whereas the movie is just a comedy.
Yeah, I think they took a lot of this, the context in this movie from something like Angel, who was, the brooding, like, oh my god, everything I did was so bad back in the day. And Spike was just like, woo, being a vampire rules.
Which should be what Lestat should be.
Kind of like David and the Lost Boys.
Exactly.
Now, did you see that the people that put out the documentaries, You're So Cool, Brewster, the Fright Night documentary, and the Hellraiser documentary also put out a Lost Boys book companion documentary?
Yes, my friend Paul did it.
Oh, really? Okay. Let him know I like my copy, but what the hell happened to it? Because almost everyone who got their copy, the spine was broken.
Really? Because it came from England, didn't it?
Yeah, but that's still no excuse.
No, I'm just saying, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Most people who receive that book, the spine is broken on their books.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they can't.
I'm sure he knows about it. Then,
they can't reprint it.
But he's not responsible for saying about it. But yeah, I'm going to ask about that actually.
But the thing is, here's the thing though, Andy. A lot of people have been asking, what the hell, and they're just not responding.
That's the way most people, I believe that publishers and people like that are nowadays. But yeah, I'm going to ask about that because that is crazy.
I always wanted to do this, paint by the ocean.
Right. See if it helps.
Just kind of...
Every time you see someone do it, it comes out to be a masterpiece.
Yeah, not everyone's Bob Ross.
Exactly.
We're gonna get a little crazy right now. We're gonna put a cloud right behind this ocean.
Yeah, I need a paint by numbers.
My girlfriend for Christmas got me a model kit of the Bates mansion.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
We're gonna put it together. I still have to find out what type of paints I need, but I'm not a big painter, but I can't wait to put it together with her and paint the whole thing to make it look like the Bates house.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be cool. This scene right here reminds me of Harry Potter.
Which one? I'll be honest, I've only ever watched the Harry Potter movies one time each.
Really?
And I've never read the books.
It reminds me when they see the big snake. I don't know which one that is exactly.
Oh, that's the Chamber of Secrets.
Just like this.
That's the Chamber of Secrets.
Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what's funny is that Harry Potter would come out... Wouldn't Harry Potter come out the same year as this movie?
I don't know. It seems like it came out later. But I could be wrong. There's so many of them that...
Well, the first one.
Yeah. Like, I don't...
No, the movie we're talking about, The Chamber of Secrets, the Chamber of Secrets is the sequel to The Sorcerer's Stone, came out this year. The Sorcerer's Stone came out in 2001.
Wow. I didn't know it was that old.
Yeah. Harry Potter is mad old. Hence why all the actors who are in it now are in their, mid to late 20s.
Right. And you see, Daniel Radcliffe and, The Lady in Black and all these movies now.
Exactly. Or and then you kind of look at it going, God, those people are now up there, and you now look at your age and you're kind of like, man, where's time going?
Exactly.
I just turned 38 and I'm already kind of like, ugh.
It is insane though. You look at things like that. I definitely agree.
Okay, I'm going to point out that biting into marble doesn't probably taste as good as the step makes it.
I always pictured that too. I always wondered about this part.
Now, does she come to life from the statue?
Yes.
Okay, now think about Twilight. What happens when Twilight vampires die?
I don't know.
They turn to marble. They break apart like marble.
I wonder where she got that idea. There's so much in this movie that I'm like, Where does she come? The authoress, does she sit down and start writing Twilight after reading this and kind of ripping off Anne Rice? Because those books are not written that well. Because anything vampire, even Twilight, I'm going to give it a try.
Okay, but here's the thing. You say that, but a lot of people I talked to said, yes, Twilight is garbage, but the writing is smart writing. Like, the person knew how to write. And if you
I don't think so.
And if you compare Twilight to the Sookie Stackhouse novels, which...
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, the writing in the Sookie Stackhouse novels by Charlene Harris, excuse me.
Harris.
Charlene Harris, those are awfully written.
They are. She repeats the characters' names a million times and everything that's happened. You get so tired of hearing it. They're horrible. But I guess because I don't like the writing Twilight, because it is geared towards little girls and preteens. So
okay, this is for any again, what was I talking about? Homoerotic subtext.
Yes. Little S&M going on.
Yeah. This is Maris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have my volume turned off on the movie, so Maris. Okay. Maris has Lestat tied up on this very Victorian style bed. So I'm gonna read a line from Anne Rice's The Vampire Lestat, the graphic novel. I don't have the book, my copy of the book with me, so I have the graphic novel. The artwork was adapted by Faye Perozich and was painted. This entire graphic novel is painted, by the way, by Derek Gross Sr. I highly recommend checking it out. The artwork in it is absolutely beautiful for a comic book, as it is an entirely painted comic book, not drawn.
Wow.
All right, ready? Here we go. I came out into the 20th century last year.
Oh, God.
Again, homoerotic subtext. People, I'm not making this up. This literally is the first line in this. And I have no problem with homoerotic subtext, but I just need to point out the absolute just silliness of it sometimes.
Well, I did picture it maybe even more so because Anne Rice's son is gay.
I do, yes. He is gay, and he writes gay angel stories or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I do want to read this beginning of the, not the beginning of the book, but I want to read the inside flap of the book. This is the age of innocence, true innocence. All your demons are visible. All your demons are material. Call them pain. Call them hunger. Call them war. Mythic evil you don't need anymore. Drive out the vampires and the devils with the gods you no longer adore. Remember the man with the fangs wears a cloak. What passes for charm is a charm. Understand what you see when you see me. Kill us, my brothers and sisters. The war is on. Understand what you see when you see me.
I like that.
And I don't remember if that's from the book or created for the graphic novel, but yeah, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. As I'm not an Anne Rice expert, but I have read the book, so I'm doing my best to remember what's not in the books versus what's not in the movies. I'm just going to say right now, 90% of this movie is not in the books.
No, it's not.
It's
not. Really not.
For one thing,
it's like it should be an adaptation or something. They should not made it look like it was Anne Rice, because this is not what she wrote.
I mean, none of the cast looks like any of the characters the way they're described, and we've already kind of gone over that. One of the big things from Interview with the Vampire a lot of people had problems with was the fact that Armand is played by Antonio Banderas.
Oh my God, the worst wig in the world. It looks like he has a hair helmet.
But not only that, the fact that Armand is supposed to be, only a little older than Claudia?
Yeah.
He's a child vampire. Him and Claudia have a connection because of that. And that's completely removed. Okay, Jesse's hair looks ridiculous.
I love the Vampire Bar, though. This is one of my guilty pleasures right here. I do love the Vampire Bar.
You would totally open a bar like this, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely,
That's what
definitely.
you should do now that you're back home. You should open up a vampire bar. Is there a lot of
Oh,
vampire
maybe if I
crowds
was
in
in
your town?
Salem like you, but here in Nashville, Tennessee, I don't think country music people are like vampires.
Oh, the country music people. Oh, what are you talking about? What is country music about? Oh, I lost my dog. I lost my pickup truck. My girlfriend left me. I lonely blues heart singing right now. Isn't that
It's
all
very
what
emo
vamp?
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
you would think they'd be into it.
exactly, exactly.
But yeah, I love this bar. I just thought it was so cool.
Okay, for anyone listening, where the counter on your screen should read 3840 if you're still keeping up with us. The one thing I like about this is that, okay, I do love some of these vampires and their looks, but I love the club scene in Blade a little bit more, especially like in the
Oh
corner.
yeah.
You have the vampire sitting there getting a blowjob in his lap, and then of course he's making out with another woman, and like, or he's like biting the neck of, so no, he's biting the neck of a woman while he's getting a blowjob.
Yeah, I have to say, yeah, the club scenes in Blade are a lot better than this, though. Yeah. Which kind of a Blade throwback. I get to see Tracy Lords the first weekend of February at Days of the Dead.
Oh, neat. You should tell her about the commentary you did for Blade.
I know. I can't wait to talk to her about Blade.
She came on. She's been on my show.
I love her. I think she's just amazing.
Yeah, I met her at a Super Mega Fest, and she did a 10 or 15 minute interview when it was kind of slow at the con. I
Of
love
course,
this guy.
I became a fan during Crybaby. I was a little young to say I was a fan since her porno days.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring that up considering she did that when she was 16 years old.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Okay, this guy with the blonde hair is more like Lestat on the cover of this comic book than Stuart Townsend is.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that.
if you look at the cover of the Innovations graphic novel, The Vampire Lestat, which I still can't believe how pretty this graphic novel is. I mean, this is a mint condition copy I found in someone's $5 trade paperback bin.
That's insane.
And
Some people don't know what they have.
I've seen copies of I've seen copies of the trade paperback and the individual issues go for like 40 or 50 to $60.
Right.
So for a trade paperback to increase in value, that means something. It means it's out of print, and good luck finding it.
I hate how they put like the white makeup on their faces, the vampires.
A little bit. Also,
So cheesy.
is she supposed to be the British vampire? Is that
Yeah,
is that the Union Jack on
they're in
her?
England.
Yeah, on her what is that, a bra? Yeah,
Bustier.
bustier. Okay, it boosts EAs them up pretty well.
I just love. I would love to go up to that bald one and go, "Cool tribal tattoo." It's so 2000. Oh, this movie cracks me up.
The movement of everyone with the like, like
That's
okay,
what I was talking about. It's like the poor man's Matrix. Whoever
yeah.
did the special effects.
If you're listening to this commentary, wave your hand in front of your face, and that's exactly what they did. They just kind of like slowed down the movements of everyone acting a little bit, overacting a bit, so you could see like the movements. It's kind of like stuff you would normally edit out, but they kept in to show us like speed. Whereas like on the Flash, the TV series currently, they have like him like constantly like running in place actually, and then they kind of speed it up, or he's like running at a normal speed and then they speed it up. On the original Flash TV series starring John Wesley Shipp, he would actually run with his stunt double. Him and his stunt double would run in sync, and they would use that to show speed back in 1990. Yeah, and this is 1990. This is before like they had like advanced computer effects that they could use on the current Flash TV series. So, or the Justice League movie that the Flash was in. Other times in movies with vampires, they really overuse speed too much, and you see it in like Twilight as well. The vampires in Twilight are like sprinting around and stuff like that, and you're like, if you saw the trailer to the first Twilight movie, you had no idea that was a vampire movie. A lot of people thought it was a new X-Men movie.
Yeah, because the way they jump. Oh, I hate this pale makeup. I mean, I understand vampires are pale,
Oh, now she needs a
attracting guys, but it just looks like caked on Halloween makeup. I guess that's the point I'm trying to get to.
Oh, now she needs a tetanus shot.
I kind of thought of something like that too the first time I saw that. I was like, ooh, that's not sanitary.
No. But she can easily, I mean, he can easily clean that up. Usually, like, vampire saliva will heal wounds.
Right. Those dark circles. That's the way I look after a night out at the club, definitely.
I have friends who are involved in the vampire community in more ways than just being it like role playing, and
yeah, I know what you're saying.
okay,
Yeah,
and some people are diagnosed with a low hemoglobin count, and they do need iron supplements to help.
you do crave blood.
Yeah, you need iron. You need iron in some way. Whether or not you do need blood or you need iron is two different things, and I'm probably mixing my medical terminology together. So don't leave comments about no, you're an idiot. This is wrong. Blah 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 blah. Okay, listen. What I'm trying to say is, there are friends that I know that do need blood, but it's done very sanitary. Like it's like donating blood almost. Yeah. It's through the Red Cross, and I have myself donated blood to help.
Yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. No, I've been there. Because I have a medical background, so I can draw blood.
There you go.
I've even wrote in my own blood poetry for people.
Oh my!
And painted in it for them. They're into the vampire culture. I take my vampires very seriously. Almost all my tattoos are vampire related. If anybody knows my work. I mean, I even have vamp tattooed on the inside of my lip.
Now that's just crazy. You and Kane Hodder should hang out because doesn't he have kill tattooed?
We do, yeah. Me and him both, like, we always compare it because he's saying that I need to go deeper with mine because mine's fading again. I've had it done 3 times.
Yeah, that's the thing. You keep a tattoo on a place that's constantly wet and moist, it will...
Kane looks good, though. He's never got his retouched, and his looks really good, so...
Somebody I know had something tattooed across their legs, like a chain almost, and they needed part of the chain tattooed on their outside labia, whatever that part of the vagina is called, right? Right. And it eventually kind of wore off.
I could see that.
And I was like, how does that happen? Now, I've only ever seen it
in pictures.
Yeah, in pictures. She never like took her pants off and like, here, let me show you. She showed me in pictures, her tattoo across an area or whatever, and I was like, does that normally happen? And she's like, well, that area does get, wet. She's
got a point.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't want to go too deep into the conversation. I kind of got the gist of it. But I thought that was kind of weird. Okay, here's the band. Who, that was it.
We're in LA now.
That's
We're
the
out
band.
of England.
You saw the band, right? They were there for like 5 seconds.
5 seconds to know that they live with him, I guess.
Oh, this is like the dumbest.
I love this coffin, though. This would be like the kind of coffin I would kick back in. Some purple velvet, black.
I absolutely hate I wish if we were going to make this like this goth rock vampire movie, they'd given us more of the backstory of the band.
Yeah.
Or
like I said, they have so many
characters
in this that you just don't care about because there is no story about it.
Correct. For a movie called Queen of the Damned, we don't have the Queen of the Damned. So
look at that jacket. Blue flower.
Buddy, what's
up?
up?
Any rock star in metal that would wear that jacket. Maybe in the 80s in the hair metal days.
I picture when he lowers the magazine and when he sees Lestat for the first time in obviously years, he's like, "Hey, buddy, what you doing? You never call, you never write, you never fax, you never email."
I don't know. I kind of picture him going, "Ooh, girl, not that jacket. That ain't your color."
How many cell phones do you think would be in this movie if this movie was made in like 2017?
Oh, hundreds.
Yeah.
Selfies be going crazy.
Yeah. I mean, cell phone technology was still in the flip phone era at this time. I don't think the BlackBerry had debuted just yet.
No, it hadn't. 'Cause I got my BlackBerry, I think, in 2006.
Yeah, so we were still in the flip phone era. I didn't get a cell phone myself until 2006.
I'd had a cell phone since 1995.
Oh, look at you, so innovative with your technology for 22 years. You were one of those teenage girls that needed a cell phone, right? Because
I definitely was. It wasn't. Of course, I did use it to call my friends, and look all badass because I was the only one that had one. But it's because I'm very ditzy and can get lost easy or wreck. So my dad got it for me.
you ever get lost on the way to a film audition or anything?
Um, Going to some locations I have because some of the locations we film at are so far in the woods because it is horror movie that Google doesn't even pick it up. It gives you it's like old school compass, like latitude and longitude. Like you're having to figure it out. Like this is your coordination,
Andy, what was I saying about homoerotic subtext?
Oh, like right here.
Where are they hanging out?
On his crotch.
Yeah, on his crotch. Oh, gee, what's that store right there? What's that store in the foreground?
I know, Tower Records doesn't even exist right there.
Oh, Tower Records.
It was like one of the first things on Sunset. I feel like that was gone.
Don't you?
Because I lived in LA for a little bit, and right there's where the Whiskey A Go Go is, and you always had Tower Records at the end of the Sunset.
Don't you miss?
It's gone.
Don't you miss Tower Records?
I do. I miss them so much. The closest thing that I can get to, but it's actually even better, is Amoeba. That's there in LA.
We have, but we got to go to New Hampshire or Maine for it. We have Bull Moose up here.
Oh wow!
It's awesome. It's basically Tower Records, and they're oh.
You okay there, buddy?
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
The whole mic just completely fell off.
Oh no.
Yeah. So give me a second. Just keep talking.
Okay. But yeah, this is part right here I like too, from living in LA and seeing that, because that is pretty rock star right there. But I do miss Tower. It was just a staple. But this right here between them two, oh, here comes some more special effects. We have to prove how fast they are. And back to my vampire bar I love. We're about to see Akasha for the first time. I love her entrance. Everybody turning to look at her right here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. So I switched over to microphone 2.
All right. I'm just talking about Akasha's entrance right here. I love it. This outfit, it's almost like they just wanted to focus on her outfit. Because I don't even know if I like the way they made her move. Like a snake.
Well, I mean, they were trying to capture Egyptian history in some way with her. The thing is that Akasha in the book, in the comic, is also this is not to get into like who should be cast in what roles and what people shouldn't be cast in certain roles or whatever, but for certain looks that they're trying to capture correctly, I don't think Aaliyah was the best casting in this. Now, that's not to say they still couldn't have gone with an African American actress for this. I just think
I like that they did because Egyptians were.
Well, though Akasha was always described as like a lighter skinned Egyptian.
Well, because she's supposed to be a vampire, so that would make sense.
So whereas Aaliyah is brown skinned African American, I still would have gone with something like a little lighter. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think Aaliyah is a terrible part in this movie. This part almost has really. This whole movie is just a mess to try and even talk about because of the things that happen in the film. Just don't relate very well to other things that happen in the film. It's like Aaliyah's part in this film serves no purpose other than
To
because
look
her.
good in that outfit.
No, what I was gonna say was Aaliyah's part in this movie as Akasha. Her character serves no purpose in this film other than being the queen of the damned.
I know. That's my
This.
one problem too. Like I think with everybody as well I've talked to, it's like, okay, this is the Queen of the Down, but we don't even get to see her till like the middle of the movie. They really don't utilize her except to be the bad guy at the end of the movie.
But
And I'd like to have seen a lot more from Queen of the Down. From Akasha.
Marius in the book is described as being a lot of these characters are described as being blonde,
Yeah.
which I will go with the Hollywood side of this, saying that changing that up to have some brunettes and redheads and obviously African American characters is better than them all being blonde hair, pale skinned vampires.
Yeah. I have to agree with that too. But it's true. There's a lot of blondes in her books.
Later on, of course, Armand shows up in that little group that tries to take down Akasha, and he has like no dialogue at all.
That's what I was about to say too. In the scene at the very end where they're all gathered, it's supposed to be like Lestat's family as well, because that's part of the book too, where he's searching for his family at all times. But then you see all of them together, but you don't know who everybody is, especially if you've never read the books. I'm sure there's people like, well, who's that? You know? And the fact that her aunt is part of the twins. The twins were the witches that kind of tell the story of the history of Akasha and on Queen of the Dam. But this scene, she does look pretty cool right there. I will give it that.
If you ever seen her in her music videos, she definitely had that, sway down when she walked.
Yeah. And she was gorgeous, and during this time, it's one of the heights of her career, too. So it was nice to have someone like that in a movie.
So in the book, Lestat also re-falls in love with Louis. You mentioned that before instead of Jesse. I just wonder if they weren't able to handle that type of material yet in 2002.
That's what I think. I really do. I think that before people started coming out, and I think it'd be under a lot of scrutiny. So they had to change that. And right here, we're about to see Jonathan Davis.
Oh, look, it's those goths I talked about earlier. All those goth kids. And Jesse and
there
her.
He is. There's Jonathan Davis trying to get her tickets.
Oh, is that him?
That's him.
Oh, jeez.
And the glasses.
Blink and you'll miss him.
I thought that's pretty cool. They put him in there for that 1 second at least.
I do love Jesse's outfit. Her trying to be all goth and trendic.
Her attempt. I love the fact that she's from England, or lives in England, and even Lestat says, "Oh, a London goth," but she has no British accent. It just kind of made it funny for me.
She looks completely different in that dress.
You love it.
I do. I absolutely do. I should mention that to my girlfriend. Be like, hey, Jesse's dress in Queen of the Damned. Let's do one of our fancy date nights, and you wear that.
Exactly. I'm sure you could find it at Hot Topic.
No, you can't. Everything on Hot Topic's all bright and shiny and stuff. Didn't you see
Actually,
Julie's post about that today? Did you see Julie's post about that today?
That's what I was about to say. Julie's post.
She's like, when did I get so old?
Julie impressed as an actress. But yeah, it's so true. An ex-boyfriend of mine's band, I posted, I saw his T-shirt next to Justin Bieber's at Hot Topic, and I'm like, well, I have to be old, or what the hell is going on nowadays?
I love how she's like,
very, very heavy metal band. My ex.
I love how she, the girl who gets taken away by the manager, is like,
Yes,
"Did I do
Aaliyah.
something wrong?" He's like, "No, no, no. In fact, you're probably gonna live longer now."
Yeah,
Like, the
exactly.
manager is not unaware of what Lestat is. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's all about money. Yeah,
yeah.
and
I mean,
control.
he
Or
does
fear,
he
it's a vampire. I'd have fear.
he does Lestat's cleanup work and really uh, helps him take care of all these dead girls and stuff.
It's so true. The dead hooker in the trunk. I do like his jacket here, though. I think I have a thing for velvet.
It's so hot. And I don't mean like it's hot in a very cool, badass way. I mean it's hot, like it's sweaty, and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But vampires don't sweat.
yeah, I'm sure the actors still love wearing it, considering that they're
Oh,
real people.
oh no, right? With all those lights on you. Oh, look, you got a swim pool in your like living room. That's a badass house.
He's got a what?
Look, it's a swimming pool. I never noticed that. There's a swimming pool like in the living room there.
Oh yeah,
I never noticed that. That's pretty badass.
there are too many scenes of them just kind of not talking to each other, and then he tries to be very poetic. Doesn't he get into that swimming pool bathtub with
With Aaliyah, yeah,
Aaliyah later
yeah.
on, and she like isn't she like under the water too?
It comes up. You know what that reminds me of?
A
Coming to
blowjob?
America.
Oh,
Like
like
the
when
royal penis is cleanser.
yes.
That's what that reminds me of.
We will go to Queens. That's where we will find a queen.
How about this special effects of them flying?
It's the worst thing in the movie.
It's very Twilight, though, isn't it?
Uh, but Edward and his vampire clan never flew.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so bad.
This
This is
reminds me
so.
of a Kindred the Embraced or Forever Night when they flew.
Ooh, you're bringing up some old school.
We reviewed every episode of Kindred the Embraced on the Dead TV podcast with my co-host Mr. Zeneca as the first show that
Oh,
we did starting in December of 2016.
wow.
Yeah. So we did every single episode, then we did Constantine, then Swamp Thing, the animated series, and then now we're on Friday the 13th, the TV series.
Man, y'all did take it back old school.
After Friday the 13th, the TV series, we're going to be doing Witchblade, the series.
Oh, wow. Are y'all gonna do the Nightmare on Elm Street ones, the Freddy ones?
The problem is those aren't on DVD or Blu-ray, and not every episode's on YouTube.
Really?
No.
Oh, wow. They
There's a
need to do that.
there's a
They
copyright.
were
There's a
good, but then they were good as in cheesy good, but they were horrible.
no. I honestly I would never actually kind of want to do something that bad. That show was just so awful, and it's so
Oh, it
hard
was
to
horrible.
watch.
It was so bad. Yeah, this is so not Lestat.
Wouldn't he just have bitten her and raped her by now?
Exactly. That's what I was, always like. And how she's so desperate to be a vampire. Look at it like that. That was bad. Like he sees blood, he jumped back like that. That was bad. Yeah, he would already attacked her. I don't think Lestat would have had it in him going, "Oh, you want to see what it's like?" and just, did this part. Because Lestat's not supposed to have feelings like that or remorse. I just don't see a vampire going, "Oh, you want to become a vampire? Let me show you what a monster we are." No, they either rip your neck, apart or change you.
Well, what about did you ever see the episode of you remember Angel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Angel the series, there was an episode where a Hollywood actress, former big time star, hires Angel Investigation to be her bodyguard. because she's had a series of death threats and someone's trying to kill her. We eventually find out it's her manager. Manager is trying to drum up new publicity for her by orchestrating these attacks. All the while, she finds out that Angel is a vampire, and she wants Angel to turn her into a vampire so she can be, forever pretty and stuff, because she's getting up there. She's in her 30s. Oh my God. Never mind the fact that Lynn Shay, who's 75 years old, is holding her own horror movie franchise right now.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
I understand the show took place in 1999. So yes, I'm making fun of it. So let's move past it. The point I'm getting to is that she tricks him. She gives him like fake. She gives him some type of drug that turns him into Angelus temporarily, and he you want to be a vampire? You really want to know what it's like to be a vampire? And takes a bag of blood from his fridge and pours it down her throat.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most sadistic scenes in the first season. It's really cool. Him attacking this chick in the park while she just sits there and watches was pretty awesome. Why was this girl dressed in the park like the way she was, just kind of lounging out at night? That made no sense.
She was get it on with the other vampire. But yeah, I was like, it looks like a bad sugar mama out there.
No, don't. The other movie we will eventually do, Blade Trinity, the third and final Blade movie. Do you remember Dracula goes into the goth store and just grabs the goth chick from behind the counter, rips her collar off, and then bites down on her?
Yeah.
Also, where the hell is this concert taking place? Is this Death Valley? Yeah. Okay,
I was thinking that too. I was like, are they going to Coachella?
No, Death Valley, California. It just popped right up there on the screen right now. If you're listening to this, we are at the 104.37 mark. 39. 104.40. All right, there we go. So there should be the flame things happening, which, by the way, in today's climate of how concerts and pyrotechnics are controlled, this would never be the case. But of course, the song being played right now is "Down with the Sickness." You have those drum beats. Dun, 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 dun.
So new metal. Look at all these people. Oh, this is crazy.
No metal band would ever be this popular.
Oh, and there's no way. Look at all that.
No.
Even if you were a vampire, no, there's no way. And we're about to see other vampires here, and like you said, it's we don't know who they are. They're all dressed the same. See, I think him and David should get together. There's a little flirtation there.
Who, him?
Yeah, Marius and David.
There we go, yeah. Hey, you've been looking for me, buddy. I've heard you've been trying to find stuff about the vampires.
That's the love story I like in this.
I could take you through on an adventure of time and space. Where do you get these, okay, again, no, even in 2002, post 9/11, you would never be allowed to bring fake pitchforks and, axes and stuff like that.
I know.
Now, yes, granted, okay, so this movie came out in February of 2002. This was filmed prior to Aaliyah's death and prior to 9/11. So I will give it that there are certain things in this movie you do not ever see again in another movie later on. Not at least for many years. I mean, post 9/11, a lot of things in Hollywood were changed. A lot of extra security was put into place. In 2003, at a Rhode Island nightclub, there was a fire and 100 and something people. Fire. What?
That was Great White, that whole...
Yeah. There was a nightclub fire, over 100 people lost their lives, and pyrotechnics were banned from nightclubs after that.
As they should be.
But concerts, though, this is a concert, so and they're also outside, so... I don't know. I don't really know how the pyrotechnic laws work with concerts. I know that, Rob Zombie still uses pyrotechnics.
And Slipknot,
yeah. And other metal people. Let's just say you ain't gonna see no country singer using pyrotechnics.
No. But they're done very carefully and monitored. Because I've definitely been on stage for Slipknot and with Zombie, and it is very hot up there, though. I always give props to the guys for keeping on performing and how they do it, because it is hot when those things go off.
Now, were you a stage girl?
I dated a guy in Slipknot, so.
You dated a guy from Slipknot?
Yeah.
What?
That's what I was talking about. Hot Topic. It's weird to see their T-shirt and then Justin Bieber beside it.
You dated somebody from Slipknot?
Yeah.
Oh, this
Well, he's
guy.
not in it now. That gives
Oh,
away who it is.
all right.
But
Well, there's her mom. Oh, there's her aunt. There's that weird
that's
guy.
what I'm talking about. That's like Lestat's family, and like, if you read the books, how he was looking always for them, like the other vampires from the years, and they're the ones who tell the story of Akasha and Queen of the Damned, but you don't get their names in this. So if people have never read the book, you're not going to know who it is.
Now, in Interview with the Vampire, he is asked by Louis, "Who made you?" Does he say it's Marius?
No.
He says it's who?
He never really tells them. And so that's why Louis thinks it's Armand, because
Oh.
he takes him there.
Yeah, I don't get in Interview with the Vampire, the movie, how they're like, we can't find any vampires. But, like, in Queen of the Damned,
They're everywhere.
they're everywhere. They're at the clubs. They're at this concert. There's like 10 of them in a row at the back of the concert watching right now, including the two that look like homeless men who, by the way,
Exactly. Exactly.
I've gone through every single one of the book compared to the movie videos and websites, and nobody can tell me who the hell those two people are that
That is
look like homeless
exactly
people.
what I'm getting towards. I'm like, they have so many characters like this, and you're like, these characters have to be important, right? No. They were just thrown in there. Oh, God, these outfits. How did I survive the early 2000s? Yeah, there goes a special effect. Here comes a bunch of it. Oh, it's so bad. So again, you get to see some of the main characters of Queen of the Damned that don't even get their names told in the back.
The writer of this movie, Scott Abbott, would go on to write the miniseries Rosemary's Baby, just starring Zoe Saldana.
Oh, yeah?
You didn't see that?
Which one was it?
The Rosemary's Baby, the miniseries.
Oh, the miniseries. See, I forgot all about that.
It's starring Zoe Saldana as Rosemary.
That's right. I think I saw the very first episode and just it didn't really do it for me. I love the movie.
His newest project is called is coming out soon. Oh, sorry, it came out last year. I missed this. I want to see this. He did a remake of The Watcher in the Woods, which was a Disney Channel movie back in the 80s about a woman who's distraught over the loss of her daughter, and a new family moves into her old home, and the older daughter starts seeing the missing girl in the mirrors, and they did a remake starring Angelica Houston.
Who everybody tells me I look like.
I guess.
I know, right? I was like, as long as I look like her from The Wiz. And she was hot.
But yeah, they did a remake of The Watcher in the Woods. I don't believe that. And it was
The Woods too was very dark for Disney.
Yeah, it was very dark. It was a Disney Sunday night movie.
Yep, I remember those.
But did you know this was on Lifetime?
No.
Oh my God! Do you know who it's directed by?
Who?
Melissa Joan Hart.
Oh my God, Teenage Witch.
Yeah. Oh my God! I gotta find this and watch this movie. Oh, she's like. Oh yeah, she is. Yeah, it's Melissa Joan Hart. Who, by the way, just had a movie that came out called A Very Merry Toy Store, where her and Slater from Saved by the Bell, Mario Lopez, play competing toy store owners until one day a brand new toy store owner, part of a big conglomerate company, moves into the town and opens up a huge toy store. So the two competing toy store owners have to put aside their differences, team up, and stop him from ruining their Christmas, all the while by falling in love with each other.
I hate those movies.
Yeah, but come on, you want to see a movie starring Melissa Joan Hart and Mario Lopez, don't you?
No.
Wow, Melissa Joan Hart. That's why did I don't understand. I've never. Why didn't I hear about this movie? And it says 2017, so it came out this past October. But I probably don't have my ear tuned to the Lifetime channel, so that might be why I missed it.
Right. That's like what my grandmother watches.
But you never heard of this either.
No.
I am
Oh, here
shocked.
comes the cool part of them in the bathtub. Which my favorite song, like this is one of my ultimate favorite songs that's going to play in the bathtub scene. It's Changed by the Deftones. I think it's one of the most sexiest songs ever made.
Where do somebody go to find Lifetime movies that were on TV?
YouTube.
Okay, so not to. Oh, it's on Amazon Video right now. You can rent it for $3.99. I am totally gonna do that. I am totally gonna do that. Okay, I don't get the double eyeliner with the
I
eyebrows.
have friends that do that actually. I think it is just a gothic. Well, it's very Egyptian.
Okay, by the way, why the fuck do you have Aaliyah in a movie but she doesn't sing?
That is true. I would have liked to have seen that. That would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Why don't you
but
utilize one of your stars for what she's a star for?
yeah, or how about do you have the
Oh, I
soundtrack
think
handy? Do,
Huh?
Andy, do you have the soundtrack handy? There's not one of her songs on the soundtrack, right?
No, there's no songs by her on the soundtrack.
Okay, so I understand separating the artist from her talent because she wants to try new things. So maybe they don't have her sing in a movie. I mean, Will Smith's in a lot of movies he doesn't sing in, but
True.
why not use one of a song by
At
the
least put
artist?
the soundtrack, even if it wasn't in the movie.
Right? I remember a lot of people asking that question, like, why isn't she singing, or why doesn't she have like a, even if she's not gonna sing, because I don't want to
Just
see
a song.
I don't
Yeah.
want maybe not see Akasha sing, and I
No,
completely
I
correct
couldn't
myself,
say
but at
it,
least a
but
song by her on the soundtrack would have been nice.
it would have. It'd been nice, especially after what happened. Kind of like a memorial for it. Oh, here comes the part.
Um,
Oh,
okay.
love this song.
Have you ever seen the movie back in 1996 when you
American
were a
Beauty.
Yes, this came out after American Beauty.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the movie in 1996 called Mother May I Sleep with Danger?
No.
Okay, it stars Tori Spelling, and it's about a girl whose mother finds out that the guy that she brought home from college is actually a serial killer.
Oh.
Fast
Wow.
forward to 2016. Tori Spelling is now playing the mother whose daughter brings a girl home from college, lesbian. And not only is she like absolutely distraught over her daughter being gay, she finds out her daughter is dating a vampire.
Oh.
Guess who wrote the movie?
Who?
James Franco.
What the hell?
This was a Lifetime movie.
That's hot right here.
The poster for it has James Franco and Tori Spelling poking their heads out from a body of bloody water.
That's crazy.
James Franco is also in the movie. He plays a casting director who's casting Hamlet, and he casts the lesbian daughter as not Hamlet.
Like
I'm sorry,
Macbeth?
Macbeth. No, she's cast as Hamlet.
Oh my god. Well, that's interesting.
No. I'm sorry, it's not Hamlet they're casting. It's Macbeth.
That's what I figured.
Okay, yeah. So
Usually
she's
Macbeth.
cast. She's cast as a female Macbeth.
Oh.
This is
I love
unnecessary.
the desert. I do miss being that close to it.
This is unnecessary. This is like, did you ever watch Charmed?
Yeah.
Okay, how much fucking time was spent on Charmed showing us shots of San Francisco?
True. Yeah.
Like the opening, the ending, back from commercial, cutting between scenes. I swear to God, they literally just didn't have enough time to write good scripts, so they had to keep like filling it with shots of like, scenes of the city and nothing happening.
It's filler.
It's filler garbage.
And here we are. What they should have expanded on to know this the Queen of the Dam. This is the background of where vampires are from and the keepers. And we get just briefly a couple of minutes of Jesse getting told the stories.
So there's a horror convention coming up here in Massachusetts. You should come out to, so you can have a chance to come out to Massachusetts.
Well, I'm going to one at the beginning of February, like I said, Days of the Dead in Atlanta. So what's the one in Massachusetts? Because the only thing I know is Shock and Rock.
Rock and Shock.
Yeah, see? That tells you right there how much I've gone up north to do conventions.
It's a Scaricon. I don't know if it's ever come around to your area where you live.
No, it hasn't. I have never heard of that one. I do need to do a convention up north, though. I've done Chicago. I've done Days of the Dead in Chicago, though. That's as far as I've gotten.
Wow, Aaliyah was in a lot of stuff, or appeared in a lot of stuff after she died, because she's got some IMDb credits going all the way to 2015.
Well, that's what they do with a lot of us. You film and film, and then your movies don't come out till so much later.
That's so weird. Oh, wait a minute. That's soundtracks. Okay, hold on. Yeah, Queen of the Dam was the last thing she was in. But they used a lot of her soundtracks and then used, like, clips from her music videos and stuff.
I could say that.
She was in 2 movies. That's it. If you look at
Romeo Die in there.
Yeah, this. If you look at her list, they're constantly going to keep listing video shorts and, like, music videos. But the only 2 actual credits to her name for an actress are Romeo Must Die and Queen of the Damned. Now, I think this is a shameful thing that needs to be stricken from her resume. She had a story... Sorry, she was a performing artist in the Neverending Story Part 3.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Part 3. I didn't even know they had a part 3.
Yeah. Did you know they had a Part 2?
I did know they had a part 2, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, don't ever watch it. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. Watch it, because if you've ever read the book Neverending Story 2 has actually more to... Sorry, the book Neverending Story has more ties to the Neverending Story Part 2 in certain ways than Part 1. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, but I do find it funny. Every time I've gone to the Queen of the Dam page, a picture of the Black Panther appears on the right-hand side on IMDb.
That is hilarious.
It's like every single time over the last couple of weeks we've been wanting to record this, and tonight when I've been getting prepared for tonight's recording, the Black Panther imaging or poster or some scene of the Black Panther pops up next to the Queen of the Damned. Gee, I don't understand the connection at all between those 2 things, but I find it funny.
Yeah.
A
lot of the ladies' favorite part, just seeing Stuart Townsend walking around with no shirt on. This is what everybody
I mean,
waits
if you're
for.
into that sort of thing, pasty white boys. She's a freaking treasure we lost.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Now, before there was such a thing as, like, hyped up social media, I did come out and say publicly, and I got a lot of groans for it, because I had mentioned it at a event that I was on stage for, saying, "Oh, Aaliyah died, huh?" And everyone was like, "Yeah, sad." I was like, why couldn't we have lost this person, who was a big pop singer at the time, instead of Aaliyah? It would have been a lot better, and the world would have been a better place for it, and people either laughed, groaned, or some people hissed.
Yeah. People don't have a good sense of humor anymore. Everybody's so uptight and sensitive now.
No, but this person was an absolute piece of trash at the time in 2002 that I was like, Jesus Christ, why does God take Aaliyah from us, but they keep us with this person? The same thing could be said about anybody today in particular. I'm not going to mention who, in terms of celebrities that we've lost. In terms of, like, goth, rock, punk type stuff, we just recently lost the inspiration for Neil Gaiman's death. Like, the woman who was the model that Neil Gaiman based the character Death on.
Right. Oh, I know. I saw that.
I don't know if you knew who I was talking about.
Cinnamon.
Yeah. Okay, good. You did know. Good. I know comic books. I know comic
I'm
books.
a gothic girl.
That's fine, but I know comic books
But
aren't
not
your.
just that, I'm a Neil Gaiman fan.
Okay,
So
all right. Well, I know comic books aren't your super strong suit, so.
now anything by Neil Gaiman, I love. Like American Gods is one of my all-time favorite books. That's why I was so giddy when I knew they were going to do the TV show.
Yeah, Cinnamon Hadley, a punk design artist, looked very much like Neil Gaiman's death in certain drawings.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this scene, this crap, this just.
That's what I was about to say. I'm like,
don't care
can you
about
tell
this.
me who each character's name is?
No, well, I was talking about the aerial shots leading to the house.
Oh.
Once again, we don't need that. Just cut to the house. Just cut to the house. You know. Okay,
They
so
usually don't explain why they're all close to Akasha. And again, the twins are right there. Like her aunt's one of the twins. They were witches when Akasha turned them, so they keep all the history. But they don't really go into that in this because again, Warner Bros. Is like, oh, nobody wants to know the history of vampires. No one cares about that.
no, we need to slap an amazing soundtrack onto this. Now, this is before the age that we're living in right now. As of 2014, since Guardians of the Galaxy, the first film, rock opera, films have become a huge thing. And that's what I remember reading an article, it might have been in Rolling Stone, that called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Suicide Squad, Deadpool. Yes, they're all comic book related, but they have these amazing
soundtracks.
And Queen
it's
of the
almost like the
Dam,
movies are built around the soundtracks.
and Queen of the Dam was really the first movie in a long time to do that. I mean, films always had one great song, but they didn't have an entire soundtrack that people just loved and adored.
And that's what I miss about movies from late 90s to early 2000s, because look at Spawn. That movie had the best soundtrack.
But not in the movie, though.
But it had the best soundtrack companion. Like, movies back then I own so many soundtracks from movies from back then compared to today. Now that Guardians of the Galaxy, like you were saying, and Suicide Squad, I do own those. So I like the comeback of the soundtrack.
Yeah, but the nice thing about like Deadpool or Suicide Squad or Guardians of the Galaxy is they're putting the soundtrack in the film, not just being like, oh, these are a bunch of songs that we think are really good. We'll companion them to the film, but not actually have the rights to put them in the film. I understand putting the songs in the movie is very expensive. Okay, I get it. Stranger Things also had Volume 2. They put out a soundtrack of all the songs from the 80s that were in this season. On Supergirl recently, the villain Rain, who's like this dark gothic Kryptonian, she was about to kill some guy in a prison, and next thing you know, you start hearing "Bo whoa 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 whoa." Do you know what the song that is?
No.
Okay, I don't know the lyrics. It's Bon Jovi's "Living on a Prayer." So she starts hearing that whoa 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 being blasted outside the prison, and the Legion of Superhero ships comes rising up out of the water, blasting Bon Jovi's music at the prison, and they're like, I think we got her attention now, and it just kind of fit perfectly for the scene. Yeah, it was this past week's episode of Supergirl. They only used like 30 to 40 seconds of the song, but it was perfect for the song, the context of the song, and what it means for the episode, because they were dealing with a super duper villain, badass Kryptonian who has all the powers of like Superman that is not afraid to kill you.
Right.
So the song "Living on a Prayer" was really appropriate. I liked that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love these costumes right here. I really do. I'm digging these Egyptian costumes. I have a necklace like that.
Did you see The Mummy this year? Or last year?
No, I did not.
Do not ever watch that.
See, I think I heard some reviews like that, and that's why I didn't do it. But even the previews, it didn't grab me.
No. I'm sorry, but I just am not interested in a sexy mummy.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, didn't a lot of women like Arnold Vosloo, though, who was the Brendan Fraser mummy?
Yeah.
Different thing, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I really like those movies, actually. Here's those special effects.
she's like, no more, stop eating.
Great special effects again.
So they all like,
It was like the era of the CGI, which I am not a fan of CGI.
did they all, um, did she have like the Force? Is she using the Force?
Right.
Use the Force, Luke.
Oh, I hate these contacts.
What's the name of her aunt, Maharet?
Maharat. Which is funny because it's really close to her real name, Jesse's real name.
Did you ever watch Alias? She was on that show for like 30 episodes.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't really watch Alias though.
And she was in Chocolat.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Armand, his name is Matthew Newton. He's been in nothing I've ever... Oh, he was on Farscape for 10 episodes.
Oh, wow.
I missed Farscape.
I miss Firefly.
Well, Disney owns it now. So is he immune to her powers?
Well, she's so weak. Like, and if you take the last drop, you become marble. You become stone.
Yeah, but isn't she the mother of all vampires? That should not make any sense, right?
She should be able to heal as faster, yeah. But we've got to make a story that everybody's going to love the ending. So Jesse and Lestat can be together.
I mean, Akasha's...
And you know what? It's like you know that Lestat's not going to let her die. You're never even scared that Jesse's dead.
Akasha needs... Akasha's plan is just to destroy the world.
Yeah, genocide.
That's it. It's kind of a boring... I woke up from 1,000-year slumber, or, however long she was asleep. However long she was asleep. She wants to destroy the world. Okay. I love how one person... I do love how one person on IMDb, way back when the movie came out, so again, IMDb has been around for a long time, says... says, this movie was a good book turned into a brain-dead vampire movie aimed at teenagers. First of all, it's based on half the story. The book before it in the series, The Vampire Lestat, ended with the beginning of The Queen of the Damned. They left out main characters, omitted the histories, and even changed how Lestat became a vampire, which was left out of Interview with the Vampire. I felt like they just needed to fit into some time constraints. What they did with Queen of the Damned was a hack job / film. Even though it's separately, even taking it separately from the book, it was a best mediocre film and not one I would ever hold up and rewatch again.
That's a pretty good review. That's pretty much. But so, like I said, it's
this god-awful CGI.
I'm telling you, I'm not a fan.
This is just crap. So,
not a fan.
She basically kind of... It's like a Buffy vampire slaying, The vampires in Buffy.
Oh, yeah. I can see that, definitely.
They just crumble to dust. We are all like dust in the wind, dude.
Oh, you made a Kansas reference.
I know.
You're my blue.
More like Bill and Ted when they go to meet Socrates. And like, we are like dust in the wind, dude. Dust, Socrates? Wind. Yeah. And he points to him like, you're the wind. And he's just like, my mind is blown by your 20th century philosophy. I think it's Socrates. Let's get him.
Socrates.
Socrates.
Yes. Love it. And she turns to stone.
Okay, also, the timeline does not match up with the end of Interview with the Vampire, because I forgot this reading some other people's reviews. There's a couple
It
facts
doesn't.
I
It
forgot.
doesn't match up at all.
No, because it says that he slept for 100 years, and he says that at the beginning of the movie, and I'm like, so you bite the interviewer guy, and then you form your rock band?
Yeah.
What?
It doesn't. Yeah.
Also, vampires have some pretty good regenerative abilities. Why the hell was he so, screwed up still when Louis found him?
I never thought about that. He really was
And don't
eating
forget,
rats.
and don't forget, Louis finds him in
In the 80s.
in the 80s, right after, or the 70s, right after he goes to see Superman the movie, right? Because he's
Is
in
that
the
what
movie
it
theater.
was?
He's in the movie theater. He's wearing the suit, and then he's walking
Well,
along
his
the streets.
suit, because the suit always reminded me of Miami Vice.
Oh, okay. Well, he just saw a Superman movie, remember? Because it shows Superman flying over the Earth, and also what company owns Superman? Oh, Warner Brothers.
Exactly.
And he turns around, and she's there, and she's all goth with her white face makeup on.
Well, that was Lestat. She pops out.
Oh, where is she? Oh, there she
And
is.
Lestat gives his journal back to him.
Oh, no, that's right. That's Lestat sitting in the chair. I was like, wait a minute. When did she return?
She's behind. Yeah. There she is.
Well, no, that's Lestat. Oh, there she is. Okay. I'm like, all right. Yeah, I completely lost the... Oh, she's so pretty.
Oh, just a beautiful gothic couple. And it's such a happy ending.
She is so pretty.
Mm-hmm. I think he looks so hot right here, though.
Now, if you had done this today, the gay community would have been in uproar, like slamming their fist down over this, change in the, like, he picks her over Louis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, they would be like banging on the doors of Warner Brothers.
Oh, definitely. That's how you definitely can see the change in movies in our society by watching stuff from this era, early 2000s leading up to now.
No, she's all like, ah.
All pale.
Oh,
Look at her.
she just looks so good in this scene with the way she's acting and stuff.
You become sexy when you become a vampire.
Apparently. I mean, she was already attractive to begin with, so.
Yeah. And then my favorite homoerotic scenes have come up in a way.
Oh, it was Marius.
Yes, I told you that's my love story in this. I've always, even when I first watched this, I was like, oh, I don't know why. I think it's just because for the whole thing, David, that character, is so obsessed with him, and it's like a cat and mouse. It kind of leaves you the impression that he's going to turn him,
Well, yeah, because he's got that book that basically has all the vampire secrets in it.
And Marius has played with him, like sent him a picture once, and then when they see each other at the concert, he's like, I want you to see my newest painting. Oh, I can't wait to go back to England.
Are they walking faster than everyone else? I just...
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. If it just ended with, like... I would have been fine with it ending with Marius walking in on David.
And saying David and him looking up. Yeah, that would have been a perfect
and
ending
then
scene.
the credits. You know what I mean? Okay, we already got their walk away. Now we're getting this crap, which is just garbage.
In memory of Aaliyah. Aww. But yeah, I would have liked it just to end with that whole, yeah. Hello, David.
Or maybe him saying like, "Hello, David. I brought that picture for you."
Exactly. Just something like it just would be great. Just end it. We don't have to see them walking off in the sunset or well, not sunset, I guess, but
Now, being an actress yourself, do you wait when you go to the like say the movie theater? Do you wait till the end of the credits to see everyone who was in it because of somebody you might know?
I do, and because now most of you know that if you wait to the end of the credits, there's always some extra scene.
Well, not always, but
Well, yeah, but that seems to be the going thing though nowadays.
um, someone said that about like Wonder Woman recently, which came out last year, and there was no end credits scene at the end of Wonder Woman. Wonder
That's
Woman
true.
ends,
That
and
is
Wonder Woman
true.
just ends.
I always like the end credits and the credits of Guardians of the Galaxy. They're always fun.
If you go to the Queen of the Damned on IMDb, there's a link to the right saying of like who's your favorite vampiress, and they have a list of all these female vampires, starting with Dario Argento's Dracula
Yeah.
3D, Winona Ryder, who by the way, Mina doesn't quite become a
She really,
vampire.
I don't count her as a vampire.
No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. They have Aaliyah. They have Pam from True Blood. They have
I love her.
oh shit. They have the redhead curly hair girl from Twilight. They have Edward's sister from Twilight. They have Dracula's daughter from Hotel Transylvania. Which, by the way, did you know there's a third Hotel Transylvania movie coming out this summer?
What?
Yeah, they're on a cruise ship now.
That is crazy.
It's like, okay, the first one was really good, I thought. The second one was okay. And now you don't even have Gendy Tartakovsky even coming back for the third one. What are you doing? They're on a cruise ship?
Yeah, that's like when movies go to outer space.
Yeah, okay, the movie's called Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah,
In
that's
the
crazy.
hotel. In Transylvania. Maybe they just need to continue making money off of like I don't know what merchandise because I don't see a lot of Hotel Transylvania merchandise out there. The only thing I can think of is the director really likes Maven deviant art porn. Because there's a
Right.
lot of Maven deviant art porn out there. Not that I've looked for it, I've just been told.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the band members were just listed and I didn't recognize any of the names.
No. You know they didn't go on to anything, but here's all the cool songs.
I really wish we could have gotten more into the band members if you were changing the film so much.
But I guess they're like, oh, we don't need to know about them. Just know there's a band.
Andy, it wasn't Wayne Static from Static X you were dating, was it?
No. 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 Oh, it was such a good soundtrack.
Well, hey, at least they got Jessie right somewhat. I mean, even though her character doesn't exactly have a relationship with Lestat
With
in the book,
Lestat, yeah.
they got the look of her character correct.
True.
Even though everyone else's look was pretty much wrong. David is an older guy. There's not really much, that was okay. Marius obviously was completely wrong.
Yeah.
Now in the book, she doesn't have an aunt that was a vampire, right? I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, she does.
She does? Okay.
Mhm.
It's been a million years since I've seen it. Well, since I've read the book. Well, everybody, there is our commentary for Film Dungeon Commentary on Queen of the Damned. We try to give you some interesting factoids about the movie. Please check out the rest of the commentaries from Film Dungeon Commentary here on the Radio of Horror Network. Thank you, Andy Noir, for joining me for this episode.
Thank you for having me.
And you can check out the rest of the episodes and stay tuned in another month as I will be doing My Bloody Valentine 3D with my co-host from Supernatural Creatures and Lore, Mel Heflin. And then eventually we will be getting Andy back on for Blade Trinity at some
Yeah.
point. Thanks, everybody.